Is there anything that you think the state is doing now that it should not be doing? We heard a lot about priorities and things that you think should be emphasized, but is there anything you would cut?
So I think there's a lot of inefficiencies that we utilize. I work with Department of Labor quite a bit, and we're not having our contractors in this state submit certified payroll via an online computer system. So our workforce is spending wasted hours doing research to see if contractors are stealing our money and cheating their workforces. So I think we should be investing in computer programs and technologies that will help create efficiencies in the long term. I also think that we need to stop giving huge tax credits away. We need to look for efficiencies where the government can get I'm not saying that we need to take bigger portions, but we need to sit down and work with the oil companies and make sure that what we're getting is our fair share and that they're able to still be profitable within this state. I think that's two areas that would benefit Alaska.
Thank you, Chris. Sarah?
I do not have areas that I think that the state is spending money that we shouldn't be spending money on. There are services that the state provides that in other states we don't. Our state provides restaurant inspections, for instance. But since most of Alaska does not have local governments that'll do that, I think it's important that we have restaurant inspectors. Now, those are the kinds of programs that I don't want to see go away. And I think that in the last 5 years, we've started to cripple Alaska from being able to develop new businesses because we don't have good, sound, efficient operation of the state services we do have. If we as a state decide we want to do things radically different, if we don't want local courts, if we don't want local trooper posts, we could save money, but I don't think in the long run that's a cost benefit to the entire state.
Thank you, Sarah. Jerry?
Thank you. Efficiencies, as you've heard mentioned already, are very important to look at. I know for some folks that work with the state, shared services is a phrase that they don't like to hear. But we do need to look at how we do business. Is there a more efficient way to do it? And if so, we should probably do it that way. We have also increased Medicaid spending, and Medicaid spending in and of itself isn't bad. The reimbursement that we're getting from the federal government isn't what we expected, I know, and so we need to carefully look at whether we want to continue to expand Medicaid. However, when you're looking at that, you need to understand it's a fixed pot of money and it's only going to go so far. What is going to be our top priority?
Thank you, Jerry. Andy?
I think Medicaid expansion is critically important for our state. It's been the one bright spot in jobs in our economy, but it's saved lives. That is one area. I was certainly in every area you're always looking for efficiencies, and I think we should be doing efficiency audits. I know in Utah they did one of their Health and Social Services Department and they saved $100 million. And so you're always going to be looking at your budgets. But I think another thing that is really important is that we have to always look at how things change, and like right now they have found a lot of oil on the North Slope and they have more ways to drill that are less expensive, and so I think we need to revisit how we're partnering with our oil and gas companies. I think that would be helpful.
Don?
The one question I always ask people when I'm looking at budget issues, when I was on the assembly here, I asked the same question. What service would you give up? Not what are you going to take from somebody else, but what will you give up? I've never had anybody answer that question yet. I think that we do have efficiencies that we need to get straightened out. I see a lot of waste in the state, and I know where a lot of it is at, and when I'm in the Finance Committee, I'll take care of that.
Thanks, Don. Jesse?
Well, I think there's an excellent point, right? What I want is an essential and what you want is frippery. And we have a lot of work to do to educate our colleagues elsewhere around the state. And as we work with them, often we see that some of the things we initially looked askance at are important to their districts and their regions. I mentioned earlier the potential for even more investment in technology. I know there's been some bumps along the road, but eventually I think we'll get there. And then the need for long-term thinking. You know, we have 2 vessels that were built as day boats to improve service in Lynn Canal. We're $120 million in, and there's a new proposal to spend $13, $15 million each and change their designation. I think the Marine Highway System Reform Project can add some long-term thinking to our marine highway system and its management.
Thank you.